Hey guys, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com. And I just got an email from a blog reader who had a question about seated versus standing pedaling position. And this is something that I've talked about before in just kind of my argument for my barefoot pedaling concept, where we want to start trying to apply more natural movement to the bike instead of looking at the bike as being this completely foreign thing that once we sit down on it, all rules of how our body moves optimally go out the window. I believe that we should look at how does our body move optimally. Now, how can we apply that knowledge to the bike? And so one of the things that I try to emphasize with my barefoot pedaling concept is maintaining straighter spinal alignment and standing up more to pedal rather than sitting and spinning all the time. Your basic advice is that you want to sit and spin and only stand up when you have to. I think that you should stand up on all hard efforts, and I'll show you why that's important here in just a second, and then only sit and spin to recover. So now here's what's happening though a lot of times. When people try to stand up and start using standing pedaling, they're applying their seated pedaling posture to that standing position, and it doesn't work out as well. Now, here's the key to the difference between your seated and standing pedaling. Even when you're seated, you should still be trying to fight that rounded back posture, but what is happening is you're tying in the disengagement of your lats to your hips being able to move. And so what I'm talking about here is that when you get your lats locked down nice and strong, it basically locks your spine alignment, locks your chest puffed out, locks your shoulders back and down, just locks you in a good strong posture. Now, when we move with this good strong posture, you can see my spine doesn't move. But this isn't how we are on our bikes. What ends up happening is we disengage the lats so that we can then let our hips move back. And then we end up in this position here. So what's happened is a lot of riders have developed a movement strategy that centers around the disengagement of their lats for them to be able to move at their hips. And that is just a bad movement strategy and something that you have to fix off of the bike in order to apply it better on the bike. It's going to be really tough to figure that out on the bike. So basically, that's why exercises like the deadlift and the single leg deadlift and the swing and the single leg RDL, like all these exercises that I talk about that work on that hip hinge while teaching you how to lock the core down, why those exercises are so important for you as a mountain biker, because that's what you want to be regaining, is that ability to keep the core and the lats locked down while you move from the hips. So basically what happens is we develop this seated pedaling posture while we're rounded at the upper back, and what's basically happened is the lats have disengaged, and then we go to stand up and we don't know how to get those lats locked down. And when your lats lock down, it increases the stability of the hips, which is going to increase your leg power and leg drive. So that's one of the reasons that standing pedaling, when done right, you can produce so much more power than you can in the seated position, because you're able to lock the lats down and get the upper body into helping with the leg drive as well. So that's the main difference, and that's what you got to concentrate on. Even when you're in your seated position, you should be consciously trying to drive those lats, lock those lats down, and keep your shoulders pulled down and back, and keep that, your lats tight. Don't just get into this posture. Just because every rider in the world looks like this doesn't mean that this is the way that we're supposed to look, okay? That's a dysfunction that's been developed by years and years and years of just bad repetitive movement in a very specific position. And so that's what makes it really hard when you try to venture out of that. So anyway, so that's the essence. It's the lats is the essence of that difference between seated pedaling and standing pedaling, and being able to lock those lats down, get them to help stabilize the hips and help get you into a better posture in your spine and better alignment, is the key to getting the most out of standing pedaling. And you're also going to find that you're going to be way more efficient. You're not going to fatigue nearly as quickly when you get that standing pedaling posture down as you do when you stand up and you're trying to apply the disengaged lats, seated posture to that standing position. So without that seat, you quickly find out how inefficient and bad that position is. So anyways, I hope this clears this up. I know a lot of people want me to just get on a bike and show you what I mean on the bike, and one day I will get off my butt and get out there and do that. But the essence of what I'm trying to teach you guys is what to do off of the bike. Understand what the way that you move off of the bike better and how that applies to being on the bike. So watching me do that on the bike isn't going to be as effective as you watching me do it off of the bike and breaking down the difference between those two postures. You don't need to see me on a bike to understand the difference between this posture and this posture, okay? Or trying to stand up from this posture, or getting the lats locked down and getting nice and tall. So again, that speaks across just basic human movement. You should watch that in the way that you move every day. You know, if you play another sport, you should be aware of these movement principles that I'm talking about. But that's going to really help you out, just understanding these movement principles and what bad movement versus good movement should look and feel like, and then starting to try to think about and apply that on your bike. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Once again, it's been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. Check me out at bikejames.com. You can find more info on my barefoot pedaling concept, how to restore natural movement to your bike. You know, it's going to help increase your power, your efficiency, and help get rid of a lot of the aches and pains that people just associate with cycling, which I don't think need to be associated with cycling if you clean up your movement and move better. So anyways, you guys can check me out there for more tips, and I'll talk to you guys in my next tip.